Not bloody bad.
Can he replicate his success in this game against this guy? In the top left, in the green, he is Peppy.
In the bottom right, in the yellow, Singapore's Saiko. Singaporean Saiko. Rocking the green and gold here. Shout out to Australia, my favorite country in the whole world. Zeph's like,
I mean, it's all right, but I think green and gold are like a pretty
it's not a good
combination.
Yeah, we kind of, I mean, I only like green and gold because of national pride.
Yeah.
But I never sit there going, God, our uniform looks great, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're pretty ugly like 99% of the time. But if you think about the colors that Australia is naturally, it makes sense, right? Because we've just got various shades of brown and then some green.
Also, if we went for flag colors, we would be the 9,999th team that has red, white, and blue as their uniform color.
Fair point. Oh.
Yeah. We could go for a nice red color, you know? We have some red soil here in Australia.
We do. I mean, we're surrounded by water. We could have done some kind of blue.
Yeah. What's red and blue combined, Seth? That's purple. Exactly. Fix it up, Australia.
Right. The pretty chill openers here from these guys. Hatch in the natural this time around.
That's always nice. To have the hatchery as part of your infrastructure to mine from, instead of
pretty
as an
solid
offensive
strat.
structure. Yeah. The only thing that's sort of note here, and it's like very minor, is that Saiko went for Nexus before Cybercore. That's like the, so a slight bit of greed, but not the biggest of deals. It's just like a probe difference.
Yeah. He'll just want to probably keep tabs on Peppy as the game progresses, because we've already seen in the last match, he's not afraid to be the aggressor. He's not afraid to be a little bit cheesy. So you really do need to keep an eye on what he's making. Is he still droning? Are there an unusual number of units coming to your house right now? So he doesn't get caught out. Because I feel like Saiko has some really solid strats up his sleeve.
He certainly has. Well, one time it worked, a couple other times didn't. This is definitely a mistake. I mean, he wants a third for sure, but not with 2 drones. Imagine if 2 drones makes your hatchery build faster.
Huh. I mean, it would be worth it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, cool idea, Maynard.
Because, well, you'd be able to mine faster, so you'd pay it off faster, wouldn't you?
Maybe. I think there's only one game that I've ever seen that actually be a thing. I think that was Warcraft. Oh no, I think you could do it in Age of Empires as well. Just have a bunch of peasants on the structure to build it quicker.
Yeah, I think you're right. My foggy Age of Empires 2 memories.
It's been a hot minute since I played Age of Empires, like at least a decade. So, I mean, as soon as StarCraft 2 came out, I'm like, do I care about any other RTS? And unfortunately, the response was always no when I dropped that into the case machine.
Oh, I mean, you play the odd RTS, though. I've seen you on that Stellaris hype train.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Stellaris is... It's like a different brand. It's like not the... I don't count it as an RTS compared to... because it's... You can pause it. Like, they are billions.
Yeah.
But it's certainly like... It is technically real-time and technically a strategy game, but you can pause it. I like these fast-paced strategy games like, StarCraft, Age of Empires, Warcraft and whatnot. We have what looks to be an Archon drop from Saiko. Ooh, Oracle getting a little too close there. Easy.
Yeah. This is that build we saw before, opening with one Oracle trying to find some kills, but behind this just transitioning into the Robo and Twilight. And getting that Warp Prism out as well for the aforementioned Archon drops.
Yeah, it looks like it might be the charge lot variety that Pez showed us on Game 1 in Acropolis versus Peppy. You get the Templar Archives, and then you usually get charged in the Twilight Council as well. Sometimes you don't. There's actually been some players in Korea that I've seen, namely Trap, I believe, has done it. You like get a Templar Archives, and you get Storm really quickly, and then you actually load that Prism up with a couple High Templar with Storm in it, and go for some of that bad weather on the drone line.
Yeah, you don't see that quite as often.
No,
And
it's
so-
super rare, but it's like I saw it in Elite League a couple of weeks in a row. So
Yeah, when you're the
Now it's a
Zerg,
thing,
like,
as
you
far as
really
I'm
don't
concerned.
you don't expect that, and it's just a
No.
really bad time for you.
no, it's like I remember casting with Zombie Grove and just like, oh, normally you can drone through this kind of harassment, and then he loses like 20 drones. Like, well, drone through that. Good times, but we are going to see the charge, so it's more like the regular opening. Just charged a little bit later than when Pez got it.
Yep.
Yep.
And let's see how much these Archons can do. He's got a nice little spot here where he can drop and then just hop over into the main for some fun as well. Maybe target the drones. Yep. Or, I don't know, I guess getting the Overlord will actually supply block him right now.
Well, there's Archons. Yeah,
okay.
it's way too many roaches. In fact, I'll even say Peppy's like over making roaches here just for defense. When you make this many roaches, you kind of sit there going, huh, is
Well-
it for defending?
Does he? Yeah, that's the next question. He's got roach speed finishing up and he's getting the +1, but he just made 4 Overlords. And that's obviously very helpful when you intend to keep pumping roaches because they eat up that supply like crazy.
Yeah, he's just waiting for that observer to come across so he can get himself some of that creep tumor pick off, or going to use the Oracle Rudder for Revelation. Really wants that creep tumor, taking a lot of hit points there on that Archon. Oh man, Peppy's making so many roaches. He's not just defending his Zeph, he's actually going to try and collapse into the Protoss' natural after defending here.
Well, I mean, Saiko is starting to warp up towards the north for this big attack, so it could actually work in his favor if he were to run past that army. But it looks like, oh yeah, he caught wind of it, so he can actually head up here and deal with that. These Archons are a bit separated.
Ooh,
Now he sees the
charge
rest of those charge lots.
Yeah, charge lots coming in from the north side. These roaches obviously have speed, they're way off creep, but there's so many roaches that Saiko surely cannot expect to engage this army and hope to win. Like, to be very careful here. He's already lost a bunch of his front line. Peppy's just holding that R button. He's like, I'm at 66 drones. You want to see another drone from me? Ha! It's got to be roaches, mate. This is going to be the rest of this game, okay?
Yep, it is indeed going to be a roach party. He's going to try and warp in up the front here, but Peppy just meets him head on, takes out these zealots. More coming in from the side, but also Queens and roaches joining in from that ramp angle as well. And he's actually just tearing through this Protoss force.
Yeah, this Immortal shows up like, I counted this unit, right? Not today, Junior. There goes that recall. Your Immortal's going back home, but that is 72 army supply of roaches streaming across the map there, Zeph. Nidus Worm also being popped back at home for the Zerg so that you can actually set up a return ticket, an express ticket back to Zergville for these roaches if things go sour, and also reinforce the front line if it goes well.
Oh, he marches right up to his sentry, snipes one straight off the bat. The other three, have no energy. And he's just going to keep moving through here. One Ravager to pop those force fields helps out. And oh my goodness, Saiko is in big trouble.
Yeah, it's just too much roach supply. Yes, you got the Prism, and yes, perfect Prism Micro, you can deal with like 50 or 60 army supply deficit, but this is just not the unit composition for Saiko, and this deficit is too low for the Protoss. As I like to say, way too much Zerg on the dance floor.
No force fields to buy him any more time. Even a couple of drones coming in to help out. And the Knight is coming in too. So he's fighting tooth and nail. And as these units single file in, I mean, that helps him out a little bit. But there's just too much here.
Saiko. All right, man. Saiko's just like, maybe, just maybe. No. Peppy, getting game number 1. He's gonna have to shake that one off and tighten up that defense from map number 2. Peppy has been showing that he's primarily very aggressive.
Yeah,
that one game where he was on the defender's side for an attack from Pez, which is the first game he didn't win, and then the Acropolis game where again he was aggressive. So
yeah. I really like the non-macro Zergs. You know, your Peppies, your Mimikas, your Enders, your NXZs. Yours sometimes quite aggressive as well.
Yours quite a bit actually in his group.
Yeah.
Pretty aggressive. But then he had that insanely long game. Like it was Yours and Demilove that made like the bracket go really long because they had like this friggin' like 35-minute ZVZ on Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Where it was just like tier 3 egg units and Vipers abducting each other, and then a Viper abducting the Viper that got abducted to pull it back into the ball of those Vipers. And it's like,
yeah.
That's actually, I actually really love late game ZVZ. It's really fun to cast. I would not want to play it, but I would like to watch it all day. It's very fun.
It's fun. On Tuesday, we had some long games as well with the TVTs and I think the TVP went pretty long as well, but
You say that
yeah, those are
Caesar
pretty good as
Zero
well.
slowed that bracket down a little bit when we
Oh
were chatting
yeah,
about
really long TVT games where both players are kind of sitting back for the most part. Or like you know when you get like that level of all the sensor turrets and you can see everything your opponent's doing and no one can really quite
no one wants to attack each other. The other one's just like, God, I hope he attacks me. The other one's like, God, I hope he attacks me. But neither wants to attack each other. It's like the StarCraft equivalent of no, you hang up.
Yeah. You have to wait till someone gets battle cruisers and starts popping them around the map and forcing some action.
That actually is like, I've been seeing battle cruisers more in the last year and a bit than I have in the last 8 other years of StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Just because of how much better the unit is now. Like it got buffed a fair bit with that scoot and shoot ability, like the ability to fire while moving like the Phoenix, and just having that tactical jump ability in tandem. It's actually a really strong unit, and I use it in almost every matchup now. So I don't have the vibranium balls to be able to make them in TVP, though. I just feel like they just die really quickly in TVP. But there are Terrans out there like 7 Tempests, 1,000 Stalkers. Yeah, I'm going to switch to BCs. I'm like, you madman, why would you do that? But then they win, and I'm like, wow, TY's a genius. Show is that good.
All right. Game number 2 is on New Repugnancy now. And in the bottom left, in the green trunks, he is Peppy.
Certainly is, Zeph. Well spotted in the top right here. I spy with my little eye the Singaporean Saiko in the yellow. 1 map away from elimination for his first WCS Challenger appearance. Well, actually, Challenger group stage, I should say. He was actually a part of the qualifiers earlier.
Yeah.
But this is the first time he's gotten this far.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing well. A lot of these players that we see sort of have their first couple of appearances in group stages, give them like a year. And
unless it's quite always.
Yeah, they tend to do quite well. They become more consistent. They become regular faces in the brackets. So I hope we do see more of him if he bows out here today. But he's only down 1. He could definitely come back and win the next 2.
Well, we are seeing
he's buying it.
Yeah. Some pretty regular stuff here for the most part. Saiko once again Nexus for Cybercore, but again, pretty regular.
Yeah. I like him being a little bit cheeky here. As a Zerg player, it really sucks because you're like, I want to call his bluff, but then if I'm wrong, I'm just going to have a really bad day. So you kind of have to react to it and try your luck. But not to worry, he's going to look towards grabbing that third base. Saiko not going to try and interfere with that either.
The Korean third base timing, Zeph, before 2 minutes. So you slow down link speed here, but you get very greedy.
You'll get a beautiful economy off this build, provided that things go right for you. We still don't know what Saiko's going to go with. Does he open with the Stargate tech? Does he have something more 2-basey planned? I don't know.
I mean, we are seeing Warp Gate straight away after the depth, so normally that means not Stargate. But, I mean, he certainly can afford one if he wanted to.
Okay.
And he is going to, so he's going to get it after Warp Gate instead.
Yeah. He hasn't committed too much to the Stargates when he's made them, though. Even, like, proxying him, it's like, yeah, 1 unit's enough. I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not too worried about having the earliest possible Stargate units out on the map.
Nah, I mean, the Adepts are pretty good in the early stages of the game if you can control well for map control. The Stargate is like it was widely considered by Protosses to just be like the ultimate all-round opener in PvZ because it would be really good at harassment and would also keep you safe. It was like, this is how I want to open safely. But then, the robotics bay was made, robotics facility, not the bay, rather, was made cheaper. And what else was made? Something else was made cheaper that I've forgotten about. But,
I can't keep track.
Gateway production time, Warpgate, that sort of thing. So, yeah.
And with that bit of a scout, Peppy's already dropping, I think only 1 spore. I was going to say a couple of Yeah, only one in the main. You can probably rely on queens for the rest. He's making an extra 2. There we go. There's another spore now. And yeah, he should be well set up to deflect any Stargate units coming his way. And in the meantime, he's just droning like a madman.
Yeah, you know what? We were talking about how Peppy's been aggressive most of his games here. This is the complete opposite. This is just macro Roach Warren making a lot of queens. He's getting the Roach Warren's well timed for an Archon drop if an Archon drop comes across the map. So you kind of get it blindly anyway as a Zerg at this time because you're just like, well, if I don't make it, I die to Archons. I die to like a big Adept or Zealot attack. So it is necessary. But yeah, this is just macro, dude. Good stuff from Peppy so far. He could, of course, switch gears. There are some builds where you get to 40-odd drones and then you just stop and just make units. So while it's macro so far, you can definitely switch gears. There's a robotics facility, by the way, from Saiko. And he's actually not made any oracles. It's just straight Phoenix.
Yeah. Changing it up a little bit. Now grabbing himself the Robo and the Twilight. Probably see Charge come in. But yeah, this is looking to be a longer game as he grabs that third Nexus and tries to get a Forge for himself as well, start to get out some upgrades. And Peppy's taking full advantage of this. Look at that, 15 drones at a time. So even if he loses a couple here, not the hugest deal because he's still in that droning phase. Easy to replace him. Yeah,
it certainly is. He's got a bit of lava stacked up there. Peppy only a little bit behind in workers on the Protoss, but the Protoss is, has the Chrono Boost ability, which is pretty good. Is going to use it on his upgrades instead of pro production, but he has certainly been dumping a bit of Chrono into that pro production. So the economy for both players looking pretty solid. We are seeing Immortals in charge on the way here for the Zerg. A infestation pit for Peppy. And I got to say, Zeph, I don't think this is for Hive. I actually think that Peppy is looking to potentially go on a Swarm hosts here.
Yeah, I mean, agreeance there. People don't tend to go for infestors in this situation. Swarm hosts can be really awesome as a harass unit, as a defensive unit, less so, but if you time your locust waves right, they can actually be an invaluable tool. Just so long as you're not backed into a corner with them. And oh dear, he actually really needs to be careful with these Phoenixes. There's not a lot of health left on those.
Yeah. I mean, they are still important. Oh my god. Pathogen glands?
Okay. Yeah.
What is Peppy doing in this game?
I really didn't expect that.
Wings of Liberty? Hello?
No.
Oh my god. He's going into infestors. To what end?
All right. Well, I mean, it can't hurt, right? Because those charge lots, if they get fungled, they're not going to be charging much anymore. You
certainly want a bit more gas if you want to get another infestors out. And even in investing in a pathogen glands, melee upgrades as well. So, like melee infestor, you don't see that every day. That's very old school.
Yeah. This is like not a style anymore, really.
No, this is 2012 wanted their unit composition back. I mean, well, we'll see how this goes for Peppy. He is under attack, albeit by a small enough force here from Saiko, where it feels like Peppy should be able to hold with the lings and the roaches that he made earlier.
Yeah, not the hugest amount of pressure. But as he reinforces, this can get a little bit more scary because he's still sort of trying to shape up this composition. He doesn't have the upgrades on the lings yet. Charge is finished. Blinkers now on the way as well, and a second Robo coming down for Saiko. So he cleans up those depths and loses 3 probes. And Saiko can just sit right here on the edge of this crease. It's a perfect spot for him. But man, he actually has a pretty chunky army. Let's see what kind of difference these infestors can make. He only has a few out, 3, in fact.
Yeah, let's go with his infestors here. Hasn't really done anything with them just yet. So I guess it's for infested terrors, maybe. I'm just what does Fungal do from here? What does infested terrors do from here? It just feels a very questionable thing to get those infestors right now. That's I'm trying to figure out what the game plan was.
If he had Banelings and then he fungled the first lot of charge lots and crashed Banelings into them. There we go. There's a Baneling nest coming up now. That would make more sense to me than
the charge lots are right. Oh, okay. Well, we lost some shields there. We'll just pull back and regenerate.
Yeah. But he's slowly building up more and more links. +1 is actually about to kick in. Some extra queens being made as well for Peppy, as he did Have a few killed there by Saiko. Love the addition of the Warp Prism here by Saiko too. That's really what's going to stretch Peppy thin. If you can get a warp in that main, if you can run some things by into the third or fourth while he attacks over on this angle. Oh my god, charge lots against Lings, make it stop!
Yeah, that's brutal Savage Wreck right there. Those charge lots getting straight through that line of Lings. The Prism goes down. Fourth base denied here for Peppy, but he has got one to the north side, so I guess that was more like a fifth. He gets the Infestation Pit, so no more Infestors, I guess, for now, but he already has a Hive, and he already has a Spire on the way, and I feel like Peppy's intention here was to go for some of that ye old Broodlord Infestor.
This is kind of a very weird flow of game from the Zerg, but I mean, there's not a lot of air presence for Saiko. He's just sitting on those 3 Phoenixes still. He's got a largely charged army with a couple of Immortals sprinkled in. So this is not the scariest Protoss army in the world, especially if we hit Broodlord tech. Even Mutatech, he doesn't have anything to really deal with that.
I mean, Phoenixes, but he does have the single Stargate, so, you know, if he gets caught by a big switch, that is certainly like a little bit concerning. How about some more Lings, Zeph? Do you think that's enough Lings?
I think you could use a couple more, actually.
A couple more? You think like another 60?
Yeah. If he loses groups of them to an attack like this, he'll definitely need considerably more.
Oh, there's 4 Archons here, and I think they can actually kill like 16 Lings. I've seen 4 Archons trade incredibly well against an army like this.
Yeah, you really got to get a good surround on those. And there's just Zealots everywhere. Saiko's pulling some sick moves here, stretching him thin, and Peppy... Okay, just leaves the game. That was a weak game. I'm not sure what to say about that one.
It feels like Peppy tried something new, or old in this case, and tried to go for maybe a new version of an old composition. But he got punished for it pretty hard there.
Yeah.
You know, in the immortal words of Day 9, if your opponent do something weird, just go kill them. And it feels like Saiko certainly did that in this game.
Yeah, I'd love to pick Peppy's brain on that one, because I feel like there was some stuff going on that I just didn't understand that was probably really smart.
Yeah, I mean, neither of us are anywhere near as high level as Peppy, so I'm sure the build works. Otherwise, he wouldn't do it. You know, this is group stage for, and also losers match for WCS qualifiers, which is good money if you can get through. So. No doubt he's taking it more seriously.
Those sort of old school builds are cool too, because people don't expect them and they sort of forget how you're supposed to play against them. So they're not the worst idea. Even if you're just trying to be cheeky, or if it's something that you've been practicing for a while, people aren't used to responding to that scenario anymore. So they can be thrown for a loop. They can make suboptimal decisions, and you can definitely get ahead. But I guess that one just didn't really work out. I liked how Saiko played that. He was in the main. He was poking at the third, denying the fourth. And when you do have a largely lean composition, yes, you're very fast, but against things like Charge Lot, it's actually really hard to clean those little groups of units up.
Yeah. Tis a bit. We're off to Acropolis here. And... does Peppy go for something similar like what he did against Pez on this map? It might have been a bit more reactive rather than like his initial plan, but if he goes for something similar, we are going to be seeing the March of the Queens.
Alrighty. Here we are, folks, on Acropolis. In the bottom right, he's the yellow Protoss, Saiko.
Yeah, we're getting some good amount of maps tonight. It's like no 2-0s yet. In the top left here from Legacy A and Z, this is Peppy.
Bit of a small map once again. I'm noticing a couple of groups, the players have been vetoing the larger ones. And sticking with some of these small ones, maybe a bit more comfortable on these.
Was there an end to that sentence?
Huh?
Was there an end to that sentence, or did it cut? Like I didn't hear that.
Oh, maybe it cut out. Maybe
I was just
maybe I moved away
I
from
was
my
like,
microphone.
Did
Hello,
Zeph blue screen? Is Zeph blue screen? Zeph XE has stopped responding?
My bad.
All right. Probe Scout here from Saiko coming up for his first bit of information from Peppyville. It's a standard build so far. Hatch gas pool. Of course, we do know that Peppy can switch gears, as we saw in the last game. You know, can just all of a sudden explode into something strange. So this is sort of the player I'm keeping the closest of eyes on. Obviously, Saiko has been playing a little bit on the cheesiest side against Pro, but that was PvP, and it feels like, I mean, even Stats cheeses in PvP, and that kid never wants to cheese. Feels like he's fighting his inner being when he does that. It's like fighting his bones. You know, you can't do that. But in PvP, it's just everyone's doing it, and it really is just so powerful. So your proxies are abound. The style's a little bit different.
Yep. And quick third base here again from Peppy. Curious to see if he tries something odd again, or if he sticks with maybe more that Roach Ravager style. I think Peppy actually does really good with Roach Ravager. He can hit some really deadly timings against his opponents as well, especially if Saiko is looking at one of those games where he wants to transition into a third Nexus. You know, that might be the thing that Peppy should be taking advantage of, you know, get him while he's still sort of getting organized with a third base.
Yeah.
Try and take the win there like he did against Pez.
This time, Saiko not going for the Stargate, straight into the robotics facility. A little bit of different flavor here for this game.
Yeah, something a little different. You can actually go Stargate after this. Not as common, at least not in this region. People don't really tend to do that. Otherwise, you know, you could probably assume a Twilight. Yeah, there you go. Coming up. You can could go Marjorie build, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly could. I mean, it kind of depends on whether Saiko is going to be making probes or not. Also, it feels like it's more of a, I mean, more like an EU ladder thing. And we saw Pig do it a little when he actually got into Challenger. You know, our caster brother Pig playing in groups.
Yeah,
he tried it out playing Protoss.
For sure. Like I think we saw it from a couple of people last season. It was like one of those really short-lived builds. Like
you might be on the money here, Zeph. This is.
I think he's made too many probes for that, though. I think he's supposed to stop earlier.
I do think so, but I mean, we're seeing a Prism charge and also Immortals first from Saiko, so it does certainly look like a attack timing with Immortals as the backbone, with Prism and Immortal as the backbone.
Well, no matter how you do it, it's always a strong option. Charge lots cut through an alarming amount of units before you get to kill them. And, you know, Peppy's still looking pretty standard. He's droning pretty hard now, getting that Roach Warren, but I would love to see him get maybe that Overlord near the main in just to double check what's going on. Of course, he has that one right here that's about to get picked off. And that definitely gives him a bit of information.
Yeah, Prism being shown to the Overlord here is, you know, a good bit of information there for Peppy. But the biggest information for him here would be the Immortal count of Saiko, which I think he's already on 2 now, or he's about to have 2. So double Immortal's about to be loaded in this Prism. The gateways are being made here. Charge is 3/4 of the way done, and the attack from Saiko is going to be hitting within seconds here.
Yeah. Cool. I think Peppy knows what's going on, though. Like, he's seen there's no gas at the natural, like you mentioned. He's seen the Warp Prism, so you can probably gather what kind of build this is. And he's just been pumping Roaches and Lings, getting a couple of extra Overlords as he has just about hit that supply cap here as well. Not ideal. And yeah, he's taking this super seriously, getting a couple of Spines in as well, because this is a hard one to hold.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit rough. Needs another wave of charge lots on that Prism, though, before he initiates. There we go. By a wave, I mean 2. There we go. Beaming in a few more from Aya. The Immortals beginning the biggest damage output. Obviously, they're going to be the hugest threat to the Roaches and to the Queens. And, I mean, Peppy, all he needs to do right now is make units. Doesn't need to drone anymore. Just needs to make units. He needs to try and hold them in that third base. It is so tough, but he's going to try and do it. Saiko attacking with one of the strongest attacks you can do in this matchup.
The Immortals really force your hand here. You don't want to lose that hatchery if you can help it. The charge lots make it really hard to close the difference here. These Spine Crawlers are going to make a huge difference, though, if they get to burrow. That hatchery getting so low. He wants to save it so badly. And with those spine crawlers, might he be able to do it? He's losing a lot of units here, though.
Yeah, I think Saiko might just roll through here. He's got a big reinforcement charge lots. Those Immortals still pretty healthy, all things considered. That hatchery doesn't look like it's going to be held on to, Seth. And Saiko's not target firing it because he'd much rather trade out with the army and kill that static defense. But there it goes. Nothing Zerg remains. The third goes down, and all these roaches, when they pop out of these eggs, are actually dead as well. They're right in front of a Protoss army.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of army supply for Peppy. That's not actually going to do anything here.
That's
3 roaches
suboptimal.
are dead like that.
Nothing you can do about that either.
Well,
and so
I
he
did
can
learn
push
from-
in here.
I learned
And-
from Switch Chat that if you just make pitches, you can't lose. So this is really weird to see Peppy lose like this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
Like,
crazy.
I thought 2
believe it.
roaches should be enough, but
I mean, 2 roaches, 20 roaches, does it end? Should
Same
you make
thing,
anything
man.
else?
they're pretty good units.
It's insane.
But yeah, look, Saiko's putting on really good pressure here. He's not letting up. He is being very patient too. He's not overcommitting. I think, does Peppy still have a chance of holding here? I mean, there's just so many
the Charge
zealots.
Lots- Yeah, the Zealots is the problem here. Like, even though he has cut through the Immortals, yes, he's lost the War Prism, but there's a second one where that came from. You know, Saiko is like, here's one I prepared earlier. Martin Stewart.